Right. To set a password to prevent people from getting into enable mode, you get into enable mode, you then go into the configure mode and type enable password. In this case, your password goes here. So in this case, Cisco, just for a basic one. Now if we come out of that and do show run, as you can see, the password has been enabled. Cisco. But if you want to enable a secret password for enable mode, which means that people can't see it when they do the show run command, you go back into configure mode and do enable, but this time secret, and then your password. It doesn't recommend you have the same as your other password, so we'll just use class. Now if we come out of that and do show run, the secret password no one can read. So if we were to exit, enter, and now we type in enable, it should ask for the secret password, which it has. So that's the enable mode password. You can also set a password for the console line. So if you want to program through a console cable or plug into the console cable, you need a password to do anything with it. So for this one, it's back to configure mode, and this time we do line console and then the console port number, in this case 0, and we're in the configure line mode, which is what you want. We then type in password, then the password we want. In this case we want, just for a simple one, class 1. Now if we type, this next part is optional, if we type log in, that enables login when we come to use a console. So you have to log in and use that password. So we do Control Z, and then exit. It will ask us to use that password we've just set for the console line. So if I type class 1, now we're enable, should need class, and we're in. Now if we do show run, to do that, should, here we go, the line console password is class 1. Now there's two other passwords we can set. A virtual terminal line password, which will prevent anyone accessing this router via telnet, which enables you to do it over the network. If we, to do that, we go config T, we then line VTY 0 space 4. Now you can have up to 5 virtual terminal sessions at a time, otherwise known as telnet or SSH. So we type that, and then again password, and then whatever the password is. So let's use a simple one, class 2, and again we type in login to enable the login, and Control Z out, and that should have sorted it out. Now I'll show you where that comes into play in the next section of this video, after configuring all the passwords and setting it up for encrypted passwords. Right, now that we've set all of these passwords up, the VTY to stop telnetting, the enable password, and the console line password, that is currently unprotected, so that anyone could gain access to the password if they wanted to, or if this router was to be left logged in and someone was to, for example, just type in show run, then most of these passwords are unprotected and easily read. If you want to stop that from happening, you can encrypt passwords like that, and just by doing just by going into config mode and typing service password dash, you must remember the dash, and then encryption. Right, if we exit that, now if we do show run, these passwords are now all encrypted, so it's not easily read. There's one more feature that I'd like to talk to you about, which is specific to a switch, whereas the previous features have been interchangeable with a switch or a router. This is relating to switch port security, so the security of the individual ports on a switch. What I'm going to set up is a port security shutdown. So that means once a MAC address is registered to the switch port, if, say for instance, cables were swapped round and the MAC address no longer was the same, then the switch would deny service to that computer. Now to do this, we go enable config T, now we type in INT, short for initiate, and we need to do this for the Ethernet port, so FA, and then at the moment we've got two computers connected, so the first one is 0, 1. We then type in switch port mode access. Then we type in switch port dash secure RITY switch port security. Then we type in switch port security maximum 1. The 1 you can change, that's just so that it has one attempt before the services are shut down, registering a violation. So then we do switch port security MAC dash address sticky. This means that the MAC address will stick to that port. Only one MAC address can be registered to the port. An error has come up there, just missed a space. We now type in switch port, port security, violation shut down. Again, I've missed the space. Very important to get the spacing in right. And I've misspelled shut. Right, now that's set up for one port. Now if we do INT FA02 to set up the other one, again we type in switch port mode access, switch port security, switch port security maximum 1, so they only have one attempt. Switch port security MAC address sticky, so that only one MAC address can be assigned to one port. And then switch port security violation shutdown. And if we come out of there, and it's been configured, we then go into one of these computers and go to desktop, command prompt, and ping 199.99.9.2. So we're getting replies, and that's just registered the MAC address to its table. Now if we come out of there and we switch, if we switch the cables around, and connect them again, but to a different port this time, then if we run the ping command again, we should, in theory, have no replies and they time out. As you can see here, the requests timeout. That means that it's working. And just to double check that it's working, we go back into the switch, go into the command line interface. As you can see, the ports have gone down, and if we type in show port security, okay, so enable show port dash you can see that they've been shut down due to port violations, and you can't use any network traffic now that they're in this state. And just to prove it to you, if we swap them round again, the ping should run. We go to we just run another ping. This time, in theory, it should work.